Hi everybody, this is Bogus Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new NECA House of a Thousand Corpses 20th Anniversary Retro Captain Spaulding figure. So before we take a look at Captain Spaulding, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with a set of open hands. Up next, he comes with his bag of fried chicken with his face there on it, and that looks very nice. He doesn't come with any accessory holding hands, so you can really just get it resting in his open hand there. It doesn't quite look right, but it doesn't look bad depending on how you have it. And finally, he comes with my favorite alternate hands NECA has ever made, his middle finger hands. And these look very nice. The opening to House of a Thousand Corpses is my favorite opening to a horror movie ever, so I am very glad NECA included these. They included these with the previous release too, but I still love these accessories. It is a shame that we don't get Captain Spaulding's hat as an accessory, though. Even on the packaging, it shows his hat, so I am a bit bummed that NECA didn't include a hat with this one either. I'm definitely going to be making my own, because he does look a little funny without his hat there. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. So NECA did an amazing job on this likeness. The likeness to Sid Haig is amazing. The previous Spaulding figure had a pretty good likeness of Sid Haig too, but this one is just a lot better because instead of using solid paint, they're actually using the print tech. The colors are much more accurate on this one, and the likeness is much more refined. The beard on this one is a dark gray, and it has some light gray dry brushing over top of it. You can see that his mustache is printed on. The way his teeth are printed on look very nice. They're printed on individually, and it looks really good. Just all of the makeup on his face looks very nice. You even get some skin tone printed on there to make it look like some skin tone is showing through his makeup there. That looks very, very nice. NECA did an amazing job on this new head sculpt. Side by side, here is the previous version next to the new one. For some reason, the old one had this, I can't tell if it's like black or charcoal color painted beard with a dry brushing of gray over top of it. And I don't know if anyone else had this issue, but a lot of the skin tone was showing through on mine. The paint wasn't that great on this one. But yeah, the paint on this one is much better. Some of the other differences are the bow ties. You can see that the old one is much fuller and this new one is smaller. The pom-poms are also different. It's a very slight difference. The old ones are tinier and the new ones are just a little bit bigger. And the major difference is he has new pants, and the new pants are actually more accurate to the film. If you watch the end of the robbery scene before the title sequence plays when Captain Spaulding puts his foot on the robber, you can see that the pants are actually this purplish color. This whole time I actually thought they were blue. I thought this one was accurate, but no, this purplish color is the accurate version. You get the love and hate tattooed on his knuckles. I do wish this would have been printed on, but this is actually solid paint. It's weird that they actually used the print tech on his face, but not on his tattoos. I feel like printing the tattoos on would have made it look a little more realistic. And he also doesn't have the tattoos on his forearms. I know this sleeve is going to be covering his forearm here, but it would have been nice if they would have painted that on because he has the John Wayne tattoo right here. I think there's a pinup girl on this side if I remember right. But yeah, they didn't paint those on at all. I also feel like another difference with this figure is he looks thinner. I feel like the previous version had more padding and looked more full, but yeah, this one looks a little more thin. I don't know if it's just me or maybe just the way it's sewn, because there's actually a stitch right here that isn't on the previous version. So yeah, maybe that's why he looks thin to me. I don't know. My major complaint with this figure, though, is the lack of an ankle rocker. This is essentially just a repainted figure from the previous version, but sometimes with new versions, they actually add new things like ankle rockers. But yeah, this one just has the old swivel ankles, and they are very crooked. I have a hard time getting him to stand, and if he does stand, he wants to lean like this because of that. I'll have to boil these and kind of bend them a little bit to get his feet straight the way they should be, and the pants will hide that. His shins will be a little bit crooked, but at least the pants will hide that. But I shouldn't have to do that, because, yeah, that just looks really bad. When he's standing here, you can see that he's not even standing properly. So that is my big complaint with this figure. Other than the hat missing, the feet are worse on this version. The previous version had just the regular swivels too, but it wasn't this bad. It wasn't this warped, so that does suck. It's also weird that he actually has right and left on his shoes. The previous version had that as well, but I didn't think this version would have that. I noticed that when I was going over the articulation on this figure when I first bought it. It's very strange that he has right and left on his shoes there. So now let's go ahead and go over his articulation. He has a ball-jointed head that can look up just a little bit. Can't really look down at all. He can move his head side to side. He has shoulders that can move all the way out. He has a swiveled bicep, single-jointed elbows that can only move in that far, swiveled wrist that can move side to side and up and down. He has a waist swivel. I don't think he has any articulation right here. I'm feeling his back and I'm not feeling a cut there. This was before NECA started using that torso articulation, if I remember right. So the only sort of articulation here is at the waist. He has hips that can only move out that far. You don't want to move it any farther or you might split the seam right here. He can kick forward very slightly. He can kick back just a little bit. He has a swivel at the thigh, single-jointed knee that can't move back very far, and ankles that can move down just a little bit and up just a little bit. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to his previous version. I feel like the fabric on this figure just lays so much better than on the new one. Those pants especially look really funny the way they're bunching up. I've tried to get them to lay right and they won't. And I've had this old Captain Spaulding figure for a while and the pants laid fine straight out of the package. So that is very strange. And finally, here he is next to the cult classic Devil's Rejects version of Captain Spaulding. So overall, I think NECA made some minor improvements to the previous figure, but I still think I prefer the previous figure. I think it looks a lot better. I might actually swap the pants onto the old version just because I do like it better. But if you don't have that old Captain Spaulding, then this one is perfect. That old Captain Spaulding is pretty hard to find, so if you don't have him in your collection, then it's definitely worth picking this one up. But if you have the previous version, I think this new one is an easy pass, in my opinion. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.